Hey, Nuance, this is a great question, man. I'm glad you brought it up. So here's the thing. You have to think of love as as an element that exists, right? It says that God is love. So God exists, therefore love exists. So the first thing we have to deal with is the mechanics of love, right? Speaking to like, okay, what exactly is love? Because when the scripture says love is kind, it's not saying that love as in the nature of love is kindness. What it's saying is that when love is present, kindness will follow. When love is present, self-control will follow. When love is present, right, these things will attend to it. So here's the problem. If God is love, right? So he himself is love. He is the source. Let's speak of love like a type of energy, right? So you could say that love is a type of energy and evil is a type of energy, just for, trying to get into the mechanics of the thing. So if God is love, he is the source of that energy. Now, that energy exists with God at all times. But in the earth, we have Satan, we have demonic forces, demonic spirits, right? And so where those things are present, the energy, right, that love is not present in those places. Why? Because perfect love casts out fear. Those things are all rooted in fear. So in any place that Satan is active, love cannot be active. And in any place that love is active, Satan cannot be active, at least not for long, because ultimately when it's perfected, it will cast out fear. But then we run into a problem because we know that there are places where you could have a church in a really evil area and all of the evil in that area is not fully casted out. Somehow the two things are operating concurrently. So why is that? Why is it that you could have love in a place and all evil is not immediately cast out? And this brings us to the scripture that says, when love has been perfected, and that word perfected in the Greek is not speaking in the way that we think, where we think of something as being like perfect or the best version. Perfected in the Greek means completed. It means that all of the elements required for the full and complete, entirely matured would be another way to say it. A lot of times completion, maturity, perfection are alternated in the Greek. So, you could say matured at full stature, at the place where it is capable of expressing itself in its absolute fullest measure. When that is the case, when love has reached that place, okay, and the question becomes, in who or in where, right? It's already perfected and completed in God. So where does the love need to be completed? It needs to be completed in us. Or another way you could say it, brought to full maturity in us. So the next logical question is, how does love being perfected, casting out fear, have anything to do with the demonic being able to operate? Well, you have to remember that the demonic can only operate through human agents. And how do they operate through human agents? Well, one of their primary mechanisms is fear. Getting somebody to believe that if they don't do this certain thing, they're going to die. Getting someone to believe that if they don't do this certain thing, they're going to have this, horrible experience. Believing that if they don't sleep with this person, then they're never going to get the opportunity again and they're going to miss out on something, right? Everything comes down to fear. That is how the demonic operates. And so the way that they get human beings, human agents to act in the way that they want them to is by creating fear or creating circumstances that initiates fear. So when love is perfected, it makes the human agent immune to the fear that the adversary would be able to utilize in order to get them to do what they want them to do. Okay, so coming full circle then, how could you have love be present in a person and then unkindness also be present in a person? Well, very easily. This is a person who has love, but has not yet been brought to full maturity. Does that mean that they don't have the love? No, it just means that the love has not been brought to full maturity yet. Perfect example would be if you go back 5-10 years ago, if you saw how I interact with other people, out in real life, the way I interact with my family, the way I interact with friends, the way I even interact with strangers, heck, even the way I interact with people that I don't like. And then you looked at how I interacted when I got caught in traffic, you would think that they were two different people, because the level of rage and the level of just absolute insanity and vitriol and things that I would say about people in traffic was so inconsistent with the way that I treated people face to face. It was felt borderline psychopathic. Now, why was that? It's because love is not yet perfected in me. And because love is not yet perfected in me, what happens is there are segments of my life where if you apply the right kind of pressure, you can draw out behaviors that are inconsistent with the areas that love has been perfected. Areas where you can apply pressure and I won't fold under pressure. Like for me, faith is an area where I would say, I wouldn't say I'm perfected entirely, but I would say that if I'm not perfected, I'm pretty freaking mature when it comes to faith, where you can apply an extraordinary amount of pressure to me in that area, and I'm still not going to act out of accordance with what I feel like God is guiding me or leading me to do. In fact, as I'm sitting here thinking about it, the best example I could give you is I have met a lot of people who are very kind, right? I would say the love has been perfected in that area. Like in general, they are some of the kindest people that you could ever meet. But love has not been perfected in patience yet. And you apply enough pressure to them, that impatience comes out, and then all of a sudden that kindness starts to falter a little bit as well. And so does that mean that person doesn't have love? No, of course not. It just means that they haven't been brought to maturity. So hopefully that clears that up for you. But that's a great question. I'm glad you asked it, man, because I think that's a question that other people probably would have run aground on as well. So thanks for asking, as always, my friend.